What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Gakis, and yesterday the Solstice 2025 event went live in Destiny 2, and it changed everything. The game is now spitting out tier 5 loot. Every run I do, tier 5, tier 5. It is absolutely crazy. I can't believe it. And players who normally would have to grind for hundreds of hours, and that's not an exaggeration, literally hundreds of hours to be in a position where they could start getting tier 5s, are now getting them thanks to this event. In fact, it was so insane that a lot of people thought this was a glitch and that Bungie would nerf it. But no, straight from the horse's mouth, guys, Bungie has tweeted that for this event, you get +1 tier, what you normally get, and if you get a rare holofoil drop, it's +2 tiers. And so what that means is that if you're in the 300s for light level, you have the chance to get a tier 5 if it's a holofoil. Oh, and if you've been unlocking armor, you often get a piece of tier 5 armor as well, as you can see. So a double tier 5 drop is now a possibility when you're grinding. And if you're in the 400s, you're getting a tier 5 after every single portal completion with an A tier. Now, if you're confused about any of that, I did a full breakdown of the Solstice event, how to use it to not only get tier 5s, but how to level up super efficiently in it. Definitely check it out, linked right up above, guys. But in this video, because so many people, and I'm sure a lot of you guys watching, suddenly have access to tier 5s, you're wondering, what are the tier 5s I should be looking for? What are the weapon rolls? And what are the armor rolls I am trying to get before the Solstice event ends? Well, let's get into it. So let's start first with the weapons. Honestly, because you get 3 perks per slot, it's hard not to get a good roll. What are you looking for on the Festival Flight, first of all? Well, you can go the traditional route of Ambitious Assassin plus 1 for all. With an area denial frame, that's just going to be, a rock solid roll, really easy to get 1 for all triggered, like I got it right there, and yeah, just going to be a good area denial grenade launcher. There's some other utility routes you can go. Attrition orbs did get nerfed severely, but it's still going to make orbs, which is very useful. What you may want to look for is Blast Distributor. This will give you 10 extra grenade stat per stack, and it stacks up to 5 times. Here's the thing, with an area denial, you guys can see here, I shoot it once, boom, times 5. That is 50 grenade stat I got with 1 single shot, guys. And I just made an orb, right? So if you are running a Grenadier build, this actually might be the easiest way to get up to 5 stacks of Blast Distributor in the game with an area denial. So those 2 rolls are kind of what I'm looking for. And there is some thought to even running stuff like Hatchling. It's not going to trigger very often, but it is just like a beneficial thing, pretty easy to get with an area denial frame. And Elemental Honing is an interesting one as well, but yeah, it's really Ambitious or Blast Distributor, or Slice is pretty good if you're using your class ability a lot, plus whatever kind of damage increasing or utility perk you want, guys. So aside from that, guys, we're moving on to the bow. Honestly, I don't necessarily think the bow is a highlight here. You can get some great rolls, Dragonfly in the left, plus Demoralize, or you can also get Destabilizing rounds as well. That's the same roll as the episode Heresy bow, but obviously this one's tier 5 and has some crazy other things going on. Also in the PvP side of things, you can get some crazy rolls here, like Archer's Tempo plus Archer's Gambit is pretty exciting. But again, overall, this is just a really good bow. If you like bows, this is one to go for, but I don't think this is like changing everything. Now, lastly, something that is really, really exciting is going to be the Yeartide Apex. So let's not overcomplicate things, guys. If you just get the Heal Clip plus Incandescent roll, you are rock solid. Like, that's an incredibly good, proven god roll. Now we finally get that roll on a lightweight frame. It was available in the Soul Survivor SMG from the Ghost of the Deep dungeon from the event before the Edge of Fate, but that was an aggressive frame, so lightweight frame is generally preferred here, guys, but it also has some other really powerful perks. Chaos Reshaped used to be a raid exclusive perk, guys. Now we're finding it here. Demolitionist, if you're running, for example, like a Starfire Warlock build, you might want Demo plus Incandescent. It can also get, for example, Burning Ambition. So this is really interesting, right? This roll here, I can switch between Heal Clip plus Incan or Heal Clip plus Burning Ambition. Incan, Scorch for getting kills, Burning, Scorch for shooting an enemy. So if you're in maybe higher level content, you're fighting more powerful enemies that take longer to take down, Burning might actually be better than Incandescent. So a lot of good options here, guys. So really, really saucy weapon. And you can also go the PvP route. Target lock plus something to extend the range, guys, is going to be absolutely saucy for just like a PvP oriented role, because you can get like range, you can put on a range mod here, like you can get an absurd amount of range with this SMG, guys. You really can. But I really think the highlight and what you mainly want to be going for is actually armor. In terms of weapons, like tier 4 and tier 5 weapons aren't actually that insanely different. Even like this tier 3 Ahab Char will serve me completely well, and it has Heal Clip plus Burning Ambition. But what is going to make a massive difference for your builds is the tier 5 armor. This has 75 total stats, and so that means if I go and masterwork this right now, guys, I get +1 for the 3 stats I didn't get spikes in, and then I can go all the way to a full masterwork here, and now I have 90 total stats baseline with no mods. This is absolutely crazy for your builds. But something that is specific to tier 5s that is on no other tier is the tuning mod. What the heck is that? Because this is kind of what is going to make or break the best tier 5 rolls. Like, this is going to elevate a tier 5 armor piece to a god tier 5 armor piece. So a tuning mod is going to let you put +5 in whatever stat it randomly tuned with, and then let you choose what other stat to give -5. So if we look right here, my tuning stat is super, and you can tell that because of these 3 little lines beside super. So this means I can give +5 super and -5 health, or -5 melee, -5 whatever I want. So essentially, you know, if I'm running this like melee build and I have almost no class, I don't need class on this build at all, I can, you know, get some extra super and then just find the -5 class, put that on. I don't care about my class, so I basically got +5 to a stat that I actually want. Now, if that doesn't sound good to you, you can always go with the balanced tuning. What this is going to do is simply give you +3 to, again, those 3 stats you didn't get spikes in. So as you can see, now instead of +5 from the masterwork in grenade, super, and weapons, it actually goes up to +6. So again, it's purely beneficial. If you don't want to -5 anything, you just put on balanced tuning, and it's just pure bonus extra stats you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. But again, the main thing is that the tuned stat is random. So that means I got it here on one of my non-featured, non-spiky stats, but I can get it here on my main stat. Guys, as you can see, this is a grenadier piece, and my tuned stat is grenade. This is super, super important. These are the roles you really want to look for. Now, why is that? Well, interestingly, the main stat actually isn't going to change between the tiers. So right here, guys, this is a tier 2 mark I'm still using. Why? Well, I want the melee. It has 30 melee, but then the secondary stat, health, is only 20, and the third stat, grenade, is 12. If we take a look at that tier 5, you can see that main stat is still only 30. So between tier 2 and tier 5, it's still a max of 30 for your main stat, but then my secondary stat, super, is up to 25, and my tertiary stat, health, is all the way up to 20 from 12. So you don't actually gain a ton of stats in terms of your main stat. Again, it's just going to be 30. And so when you're really looking to min-max that important stat, like the reason I'm running this is because I want as much melee as possible. I can get 40 melee, right? Because I am a melee build. I'm trying to get to 200 melee. So when I get these tuned stats that are tuned into the main stat, that means I can actually give a +5 to grenade to that main stat. Now I've got 35 grenade, and now when I put on that grenade mod, I go up to the literal cap of 42. Should be 45 actually, but still, this is how you are going to get those absolutely like max stats. And also, again, it means I can maybe get away with not using a full grenade mod. I can use a minor grenade mod. I still get the literal cap for any other tier but 5, and I have a ton more energy to use. I can put like, you know, triple 3 costing mods on. I still have 1 to spare. So again, being able to get the tuned stat in what you want, and specifically that's going to be either the main stat, the secondary stat, or the tertiary stat, right? You don't really want it in kind of a random stat because you're kind of not looking for it. When you're looking for like good armor pieces, generally you're looking for archetypes that provide stats of the thing you are most looking for. So again, if I'm a melee build, I want melee, my choices are either brawler archetypes, like these gauntlets right here, main stat melee, secondary stat health, or paragon, where it's main stat super, secondary melee. So again, if I can get, here's an example. If I can get like the secondary stat being focused, so in this case, I have a specialist armor here. So main stat class, secondary stat weapons. Again, what I can now do is come in here and let's say I don't want health, right? So now my secondary stat weapons is actually tying my main stat. So again, like on any other tier, tier 4, tier 3, whatever, if I have 30, that's my main stat. But now I'm getting 30 out of the secondary stat, which means I can put a juicy weapons mod on. I've got 40 weapons and 30 class now. So these tuning mods are, again, like the make or break for armor, and they spawn completely randomly. But again, you're really looking for them to spawn affecting the main or secondary stats on these armor archetypes, right? You want them to actually affect the stats you want, right? That is where they're most valuable. So like right here, Paragon, if I want to get to 200 super for a crazy Thunder Crash build, this is what I want. A super main spike because it's Paragon, tuned also into super. Let's get rid of health here. Who cares about health stat? And put on some crazy mods, and boom, there's my 42 max super, guys. But really importantly, guys, I actually just discovered that display stat is just a visual bug. So when it says 42 max, it actually is going to 45. Let me show you. So I'm going to put on the minor super mod. So that is 40 super, okay? I have 105 super. Then I'm going to put on the major mod, right? The major super mod. So that says it's only 42. It's maxed out at 42. So I should have only gotten 2 super there. Boom. 110. Exactly 5 more. So again, that does mean visual bug. You're not actually getting 42. You are getting the full 45, which again makes that even more valuable. 45 bonus super is crazy, and it's going to help me hit those milestones, that 200 stat, that 100 stat that you're looking for when you're build crafting. So guys, there you have it. That's what to look for in tier 5s. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCactus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.